Welcome, everybody, for episode 19 of Yarwood Martial Arts.
Is it 19 or I think is it 20? I think today is 20.
Okay. So episode 20 of
Yeah.
Yarwood's Martial Arts YMA Chat. And I'm here with instructor Mr. John Yarwood. And we are today going to talk about something that, once again, is outside the box of what people think about when you're thinking about getting into martial arts. We've talked about discipline, we've talked about integrity, we've talked about life skills, and now we're looking at what. So we're kind of taking a little bit of a segue over to what are some of the things other than the life skills that are there for students to participate in and are requirements at certain points, and I'm sure we'll get a chance to talk about that, to drive community involvement and making a difference in the community, and then having the impact of what that is impacting us as a martial artist and leveling us up in that world and what that looks like. So I'm super excited, and I'm going to hand the mic over to you, to Mr. Yarwood, to kick us off and get us started.
Yes, sir. So at our school, obviously we teach martial arts, we teach Taekwondo. That's kind of, what gets people in the door. But once they're in the door, they start to realize that we do a lot more than just teach martial arts. That's kind of our foundation, but everything else we do is kind of built off of that. We've taught, like Coach Les said, we do life skill training for all of our students, because they only spend a little bit of time with us, and then the rest of the time they're out in the real world, with real people. So they have to be able to interact with them and deal with that. But one thing that we really push and actually make a requirement for our students to teach them is community service. And it kind of came about. We used to have it just for black belts, where black belts, when they're spending a year getting prepared for testing for their first degree black belt, they had to do 12 hours of community service as part of that. And I looked at that and said, why should just black belts do community service? Why shouldn't everybody do community service? So I sat down and kind of put together an idea to require to do a community service event every month, and then have it be part of requirements to test for their next rank. So when I say events, what I mean is it could be anything from they could go to Feed My Starving Children to help fill boxes with food, or a lot of our students have now figured out how to build it into other things that they do, like helping their neighbors take out the trash if they're an elderly neighbor, or pick up, go to their local park and pick up trash there, or whatever it is. They become very creative in how they do their community service. And we have several different things that we do throughout the year as well. We'll kind of get to that in a minute, but I also have I started a foundation. It's called the YMA Legacy Foundation, which is a 501c3. It is designed to create scholarships for students and families who may be struggling financially, but really want and need their child or children or their family to be in martial arts, so they can get all the benefits that the rest of us get from it. So, a little over 2 years ago, we created the YMA Legacy Foundation, and since then we've been able to distribute nearly $20,000 worth of scholarships to families and students, not only at our school, at other local martial arts schools as well that are affiliated with us. So it's been really rewarding to be able to do that, and to be able to have this foundation that is a registered charitable organization. We raise money, we do fundraisers, we do all that stuff, so that way we have the funds to be able to sponsor kids and families to be able to train with us. So it's been something that's been really near and dear to my heart for quite a while. I'm personally experienced it when I was a kid. I started training in karate, and my mom was a single mom with 2 kids, working full time, going to school, and we just couldn't afford for me to train there anymore. So it had to go by the wayside, and I never got an opportunity to start back up again until I was an adult. And once I got in a position with my school that I was able to be that person who could give back, that was what I really wanted to do. So that's been my driving force, to be able to create opportunities for families and kids who wouldn't otherwise be able to do it. And it's been something that's been pretty awesome. So I really enjoy it. I really love being able to do that.
Yeah, I think, as part of education for our youth, we, in this first world country, we live in a pretty privileged lifestyle. I mean, we've got running water, running sewer, we've got hot water, we have pools, we have hot tubs, we have cars in excess, multiple cars. Some families, if they've got 4 kids, they've got 4 cars, plus the mom and dads. And, for a lot of people, that privileged lifestyle gives them a bubble, a protective bubble to real world. And when I say real world, I mean, we're in the privileged small percentile based on the entire world. To have hot food, hot water, showers, indoor plumbing, some of these things that as a first world country, we are super privileged. And I think for me, the education that's made available for kids to be able to participate in some kind of community-driven project provides 2 things. One, it allows people to contribute to others. And secondly, the one I like the most, it opens people's eyes up to the privilege that we actually live inside and are a part of. And for me, that is priceless. That, even as a 50-year-old going to Haiti for the first time on a missions trip, I came back and sold my Rolex watch because I couldn't wear it anymore, because I would look at it and go, this is, 100 years of food for a family. It would feed 100 families for a year. And I'm wearing it on my wrist because it looks cool. So, to me, this community service piece for the youth provides such an educational benefit and such an extraordinary opportunity. It's and I'm super grateful for what Yarwood Martial Arts is up to. So back over to you, Mr. Yarwood.
Yes, sir. So we do that specifically as like what we're directly doing, but we also do a lot of other stuff. We create opportunities for our students to be able to involve themselves in other ways to be able to provide community service. One of the biggest things that we do is throughout the year, we do a bunch of different fundraising and charity events that we do for other organizations. Like we're currently doing the Marine Corps Toys for Tots. We're actually an official drop-off spot for the Toys for Tots, and we encourage all of our students to bring in toys for the kids who, this Christmas aren't going to get a toy from mom and dad because, again, they can't afford it. They have, bills and whatnot that have to come first. So those kids, unfortunately don't get to have even just one toy that they really want. So we've partnered with the Marine Corps Reserve and became a Toys for Tots drop-off spot, and we've already gotten probably over 40 toys in our box, and our goal is to fill it up. And then we actually have an active duty Marine coming in uniform to pick up the toys, so all the kids can see where they're going and see what all their contributions are doing. We've really encouraged them to start giving in that capacity to and we'll even say, you can use it as your community service event for testing. So it's something that kids are really getting involved in. Even our adults and parents are really involved in it. We had one man, Mr. Greg, bring in a whole bag full of toys, which was super cool. So it's fun to be able to see that people really get involved in those events. And October, every year in October, since we've been a martial arts school, we've done what we call our pink belts. So we sell pink belts that the kids can wear throughout the month of October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And all the money, 100% of the proceeds, go to a grant that we give to a woman who is currently dealing with it, to be able to use that money for whatever she wants. Whether she wants to go and pamper herself with $600, or she needs to pay some bills off, whatever that is. We don't discriminate anything. We don't make them do anything with it. All they get to do is use it for whatever they want. So that's been very fulfilling too. This year, we actually raised the most money we've ever raised. We sold enough belts to raise $660 to be able to give to a family. They came in, we do a quick presentation with them, say, thank you, and hand them the money, and just, no strings attached, nothing. So 100% of those proceeds go to that program for that family to be able to use for whatever they want. We do school supply drives to give to our local schools. We have a bunch of local elementaries that we bring all of our supplies to. So that's something that happens in August, right before school starts. We also do fundraisers for our own foundation. So 2023, last year, we had our school was open. We celebrated our 10-year anniversary. So what we did is we did a board breaking challenge. We had all of our students go out and get sponsored to break boards and sell a board, each board for $5, so that they could raise money to put into our foundation, so we could have enough money to be able to create all these scholarships. And I think we raised over $5,000 for that, for the board breaking challenge. And then all the kids got to break boards and just have fun. And we had a big party, big picnic to celebrate 10 years and to celebrate raising all that money. It was awesome to be able to be part of that. We one of our black belts, we have our black belts do black belt projects. And one of the projects that was done by Miss Denise was a push-up challenge. So all of our kids got sponsored again. For every push-up, they get $1 that they were due. So we had a bunch of people, donating money to our students to be able to do push-ups, and we raised close to $4,000 for that as well. So our families, our community is very giving, and we love to be able to do all these things for all the different charities, for the different people around, and just it's become part of our culture, and it's an important part of our culture, because I want to make sure that, like Mr. Les said, that they understand that they have a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things to be grateful for. And when you find people who aren't maybe in a position that you're in, and you're able to give something of what you already have, I think that's the best feeling in the world, because you're not doing it because you're going to get something from it other than a good feeling, right? You're not getting any monetary reward. You're not getting any accolades. We don't boast about what we do. As a matter of fact, I try not to say much. Other people say about things, what we do, but all I do is want to make sure that we can be able to do this throughout the year. And so it's something that's really become woven into the fabric of what Yara's martial arts is.
Yeah, that's awesome. And my question, I'm just typing it up here. What can you, listening to this podcast, see to contribute this holiday period?
Yep.
As a challenge from us.
I mean, if you want to donate to our foundation, we have an opportunity if you go to the website to go do that, or donate to a local charity. Go help the homeless. Go feed the homeless. Give to your local charity. Just whatever it is that is on your heart. Go do that. Right. We just passed Giving Tuesday, and a lot of money gets raised for all of those charities and foundations, and they're always looking for donations, whether it be monetary or volunteering or whatever it is. Find something that's near and dear to you, and go do that, and go fulfill yourself. Right, make it a family thing. Take your whole family with and go do it. It's such an amazing way to be able to give to those who are in need, and not have any expectation that you're going to get something back other than goodwill towards yourself, the good feeling that you help somebody else. You have the ability and the resources to be able to do it. Do it. It's amazing how much you'll get out of it. We also have a charity that we help. It's called Massey's Mobile Mission, and Mr. Massey has a van, and every single Sunday, he goes down to Minneapolis and St. Paul, and passes out blankets and shoes and clothing and food and toiletries and all that stuff to the homeless who don't have that stuff. And he does it every single Sunday, and he's been doing it for years. And I've had the opportunity to go and participate in that, and it's incredible. It's an amazing experience to go be there and feel the gratitude that they get from getting something from you, and you're just like, man, I felt good being able to help that many people, and it makes you want to do more, because it's like, man, there's a never-ending need, right? And if you can just do a little bit, it's an amazing feeling to be able to be part of that.
Yeah, one of the things that I want to share, I've done a few things. I've done Feed My Starving Children. I actually volunteered at the location and worked in the warehouse, and did some of the running about, and really enjoyed it. One of the things, though, that I specifically saw happening all the time was the amount of community fun people were having.
Yep.
And Feed My Starving Children is kind of set up that way, right? They start out, you meet, they go through, and they tell them, you see a slideshow, then you go back, you get set up at your stations, then you work hard and you compete. Which team is packing the most? And they've turned it into a really fun game. And then at the end, you guess how many meals you made, and then at the end, we sit back in the same pews that we sat in, and they put all the data up and it's like, wow, like we did that on an hour and a half, or an hour and a half, and to see the little kids high-fiving each other, getting excited as a way of a thank you was just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. So really, I can't stress enough, listening to this podcast, and I've put it on the screen now. What can you, listening to this podcast, see to contribute this holiday period as a challenge from us, from Mr. Yarwood and myself? And if you want to, send us a note. Let us know what you did. Let's see if we can start a ripple.
Yep. There's endless opportunity out there to be able to give, whether it be monetarily, your resources, your time, whatever it is. You can find something that fits in your niche. It doesn't have to be, Feed My Starving Children or whatever. It can be anything. Go out there and search, and it's not hard to find charities who are looking for help, looking for resources, looking for money. It's all there for you if you just go make it something that you're going to do.
And time is the most valuable commodity that we have as human beings. It's irreplaceable.
Yep.
And sometimes that time to go and feed the homeless, to spoon feed food into a plate, or however it is that you're supporting, I can tell you firsthand, I can tell you from reviews, and I can tell you from people calling me and telling me, it is an impact that is worth millions. And I don't say that to, say, oh, well, we need more money to make more millions. No, I just say that because I see the commitment behind some of these organizations, and you want to fact check your organization.
Yep.
Whichever one you choose, fact check it. Make sure it's legit. Make sure that the money you give them is going to that reason.
Yep. No, we our foundation, 100% of what we raise for our foundation goes towards scholarship. We don't take anything out of it. It all goes towards scholarships and giving these kids the opportunity to train with us. Typically, it's a 1-year scholarship that covers all their costs, their tuition and their testings. The only thing that they have to cover is if they want to go do extra stuff, if they want to go do tournaments, if they want to purchase extra gear, whatever. And even then, we have opportunity for that to be covered as well. It's a separate thing, but all that stuff can get covered if it's really a big enough need for them. So we try and make sure that everything that comes in to our foundation stays in our foundation. It gets used for that purpose. We don't take anything out of it for fees or admin or any of that stuff.
Which, by the way, if you look at some of the foundations that are out there, and I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to be slandering anybody, but there are some organizations where if you give them $1, just using $1, it's okay, let's say $100, that $64 to $74 of that $100 is going to administration and poopla.
Yep.
So when you hear Mr. Yarwood talk about the integrity and the close knit of what's being created in his vehicle, you can hear the heart and why he's doing it. And that's a challenge this holiday season I want to pass on to you.
Yep. Some of the other things we do beyond that is I volunteer my time at local elementary schools, and that's not just to go in and be there as the local martial artist. I go there to help them with a bunch of stuff, help their teachers out, help the admin out. I go in there and just give of my time, things that they need. They do a yearly it's an event that the kids do projects, they do art, whatever, and the school brings in local businesses and community members and whatnot to come in and be judges for those projects. So I get to do that as well. I get invited. I've been getting invited every year now for 10 years. It's awesome to go in there, and a lot of my students go to that school, so it's fun to go in there, and they all of a sudden they're walking around and they see me. They go, "Oh, Mr. Yarwood," and suddenly they snap to attention and they figure out, "Oh, did Mr. Yarwood see me goofing around, or am I doing what I'm supposed to do?" So it's kind of fun to be in there, but also to give them that feedback from me to to their whatever project is that they've been working on and they've been doing that they've added to this event. So it's really cool to be able to do that and just be in there and give my time to the teachers and give my time to the admin, the staff, whatever it is that they need, whether it be, I've been in there stuffing envelopes, I've been in there helping, with a bunch of different things. So it's really cool to be able to go in there and do that and give back to our local community schools who, that's another place that always needs volunteers to come in and help with all kinds of stuff. You go onto their local website, the school website, there's an opportunity for you to sign up to volunteer. They'll do your background check and whatnot. And once you get on that list, they'll send you a list of things that they can use help with. And it's amazing how much stuff you can go in there and just be part of that school's community and help them with whatever it is. You don't have to be a member of the school. You don't have to have a kid in the school, nothing. They'll accept all volunteers as long as you pass your background check. They'll use you for all kinds of stuff. It's really cool to be able to do that. And I would say all the schools do that. I know a couple schools for sure do that. So it's pretty cool.
Well, and I know that most schools have a PTO, parent teacher organization. Same thing. You know, you don't have to be a parent to be part of it.
Yep.
And it's, once again, it's, you know, the organization is not it's a free organization, and it's free. They provide free services. So it's really a beautiful deal.
Yeah, it's that's another way. I mean, you're helping out the kids in your community, right? Make your community better by supporting your community, by doing all those things. Because I mean, if you want your community to be better, then it starts with you, right? You start doing those things, and that starts to spread other people. And then you start bringing your family and your friends. Say, hey, let's go do this. Let's go, you know, volunteer at the school. Let's go volunteer at the local food shelter. Not, you know, that's great if you go to one that's across town, but what if there's one right in your neighborhood? Go to that one. Help your local community out. That's the number one place. And when you start helping your community starts to thrive, and more people want to help, and it just turns into this big thing.
And remember, we've been discussing, you know, leadership in martial arts is not only you know, about being in charge or commanding others in the studio. It's about embodying the principles of discipline, humility, and respect while guiding others through their journey everywhere else in their life.
Yep.
That's why we're having this conversation today. And we're, you know, I just threw up the martial arts, Yarwood's martial arts website. So come and visit us. You know, come and test it out. Test the waters. We love people that come to test, to try it out, because that's the only way you're going to see, know, and love the difference that gets made.
Yep, definitely.
All right. Is there anything else that you'd like to share around community stuff before we wrap up for today?
No, I think, I mean, the biggest thing, and we've hit on it many times, is that just, you know, go be part of your community, go give of your time, right? Whether it's 15 minutes or 15 hours, it doesn't matter. It all helps. And you're going to feel so much better about yourself and the fact that you can give of your resources, your time, your money, whatever, to help other people. Because, you know, ultimately that's what it's about, right? And if we show gratitude for all the things that we have in our lives by giving of that to other people, that's top, man. There's nothing that beats that.
Excellent. Well, with that, I am going to play our little outro, and we will see you next week.
See you on the mats.
Whoop, whoop.